Hey everybody, I wanted to make another video where I solve 3 systems of linear equations using substitution method. I know I've already posted a video on this once, but now that you've had a few days to try some of these problems and I've had a chance to look at some of your answers, I thought it might be a good idea for me just to show you again, as quick as I can, how to solve some of these problems. Some of them are easier than others. And I'm going to start with a relatively easy one, and then I'll do a little bit, one that's a little bit more difficult, and then the third one is going to be the most difficult of all. So let's get started. One thing to remember when we're working with the system of linear equations is that you're always looking for your answer to be an ordered pair, right? So we want our answers to end up in parentheses with our x value there and our y value there. I did, as I was grading some of your papers, I saw some of you had those flip-flopped. So try to remember that it's alphabetical order and the x number comes before the y number. So I said that we were starting with a relatively easy system, right? These are 2 separate linear equations. And this one is easier because if you look closely, what you're going to see is that they're already giving you half of the answer here. They're telling you that y is equal to -8. That means I already have half of my answer provided for me. So before I go any further, over here where I'm going to write down my answer, I already know that y is -8. Well, that is wonderful. They give you half the answer right off the bat. Now, how do we figure out what the x is? That's where the substitution comes in. So if they're telling you that y has a value of -8, you take that information and you substitute that into the other equation. So now I'm going to focus on the second equation, and instead of the y, I'm going to put in this, which happens to be -8. So -8 equals -2x minus 12. And now at this point, you're just solving a multi-step equation, which we have done since September. X is the variable, he wants to be alone. Who moves first? Get rid of that -12. So you're going to add 12, which cancels, and add 12 there. -8 plus 12 is +4, and bring down that -2x. X is still grumpy. He wants to be alone. Right now, he's multiplied by a -2. You do the opposite and divide by that -2. Cancels. Divide by -2 over there. X is alone, and he's happy about that. And you have to solve for divide by -2, which is -2. So the other half of that ordered pair, or that solution for that system, is the x is -2, and the y was -8, and we knew that from the beginning of the problem. Substitution, okay? Now, the next one's going to be a little bit more difficult, but you can absolutely do it. Check this out. I'm going to get my answer set up over here. I know the x goes there and the y goes there. So now if I'm looking at these 2 equations, darn, it doesn't tell me what y really is or what x is. I'm going to have to do double the work here. You cannot say, oh, y is equal to 6x, and then just put a 6x over here as part of your ordered pair. Nope, that does not work. I wish it were that simple. So we have to go straight into the substitution here. What are they telling us? Y is equal to 6x. So you go to the other equation, and instead of this y, you're going to substitute in the 6x. It's going to go right there. Now you write the other part of that equation, and we're going to solve it. This is a multi-step equation. We've done this off and on all year. So I've got x's on the left and x's on the right. You got to get this 5x over to the other side. So you're going to subtract 5x and subtract 5x. 6x minus 5x is 1x. And what do we have over here on the right? We just have that positive 7. You don't really have to divide by 1, but if you want to, you can. It doesn't change your answer. X is 7. That's the first half of your answer. X is 7. Well, now, how do you suppose you figure out what y is? I hope you said substitution, because that's right. If now we know that x is 7, how come none of my markers are working very well? That's really annoying. Sorry. If we know that x is 7, guess what? Take that amount, and instead of x, you're going to put a 7 way back up there. So let's look back at that equation. Y equals 6 times x. Well, now we know that x is 7. 6 times 7, right? You're just substituting it in. You're taking out the variable and putting in the number. And 6 times 7 is 42. So now we know that y is 42. We took the 6x, substituted it in for the y, and solved for x. Once we had our x, we went back up into one of the original equations and substituted that in for the x, right there, and we multiplied and got an answer of 42. It's just solving equations and understanding. I guess the biggest part is understanding the substitution. And that is the name of the lesson, so that would make sense. Okay, this is the most difficult one. Well, at least it looks like it's difficult. It's really not that bad, but I'm guessing you would look at this and think, oh my gosh, that looks terrible. It really isn't. Okay, here we go again. We're looking for our x and our y. Oh, no freebies here, right? They don't tell us anything good that we can automatically put in our answer. So we have to substitute, and we're going to have to do it twice. Watch. Y is 2x. That means down here, where I see the y, I'm going to take the y out and put in the 2x. So it says 7 times y. And instead of saying 7 times y, it's going to say 7 times 2x. Substitution. Here we go. 7 times 2x, because that's what we're putting in instead of y, equals 20. Here we go. This is, again, it's just an equation that you have to solve. This is multiplying. So 7 times 2x, that's 14x. Bring down this 6x right there. You've got like terms on the same side of the equation. 6x plus 14x, that's 20x. Divide by that 20 to cancel it. X is 1. So that's the value of x. Now we know x is 1. Well, I need to know what y is. If you know x is 1, take that, substitute it in right there. So y equals 2 times x. So it's y equals 2 times 1. Y equals 2. That's the other half of your answer. I'm hoping this helps. Just a quick little recap of how to do substitution. All right? So thanks for watching and good luck.